let's do a little recap. Let's just pull this book together in as few sentences as possible. What is this book about? Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about the placebo pills. Shit, I guess I'll include that in the recap. So in the book, like they give people, so what happens is they give people placebo pills, right? They give people placebo pills and tell them that it can cure their illness, even though their illness is incurable. And what happens is like the pills are just sugar pills. And so what happens is when the people take the pills, they start to feel better because they believe that the pills are supposed to make them feel better. And just off that belief, like, oh, I'm taking this pill, and this pill is going to make me feel better. It's a sugar pill. It's nothing. Yeah. And they take it, and now they all of a sudden have the belief that, like, okay, I'm going to feel better now. So they begin to relax their body. Their physiology changes. They're now expecting to feel better, and then like in turn they just feel better. It's so weird. It's so weird, but it's just true, you know.
Yeah, it's. I remember you saying the last time we did the podcast, even sometimes when they tell people that they're taking a placebo, it works, right?
Yeah. Even if they tell people that they're taking a placebo. In the book, he describes that, you know, there was people that were told, listen, this is a placebo, all right, and then all you have to do is like believe that this pill is going to make you feel better, and they're like, okay, I'll try to believe that as much as possible, and then they take the pill, and they just feel better. It's so weird. Like it's like the power of belief is like insane. Like if you actually believe something very firmly and very strongly. And then you can actually feel that it's going to work, then it's just like it's weird. It just works. It just works. It's really the book is about the power of belief, visualization, and like feeling things into your reality, kind of thing. Like that's what I would say the majority of the book is about that.
If you, for those of you watching who are more skeptical about this type of shit, so you sort of have the same sort of excessively logical. That's what I would, if I had to describe myself, I would say like excessively logical to the point of like fault, where if something doesn't fit within my perception of logic, then I'm quite quick to dismiss it. But sometimes things that, like if I hadn't heard the science behind this, I would be quick to say it was woo-woo shit. But actually this is just backed by science, and rather than being illogical or paranormal, it's just something that I wasn't educated on before. For anyone who's curious about this, go look at the statistics of people who survive cancer when they have a positive mindset versus a negative mindset. Like it's a very well-known thing that people who have a positive mindset going into cancer treatment have a higher rate of survival, because the way that you think and the way that you feel has a genuine physiological impact on your body. For example, when you feel stressed, this is why so many people get hospitalized with anxiety. They get stressed, they get anxious, and their heart rate increases and their body temperature increases, and your body goes into fight or flight mode, which creates feelings of genuine unwellness. And sometimes it can, I mean, if you think about it in the most basic form, if somebody gets really scared or really stressed, they can have a heart attack and die. So being anxious can, you know, in very extreme circumstances, can literally kill you. So when you actually think about the power of positive thinking at the other end of the spectrum, you realize, well, if being stressed can kill you, the likelihood is that being the opposite of stressed can also likely save you, which is precisely what you found in this book, isn't it? Is that
yes. So you can think yourself into disease as well. So that's what he says, like he gives a quick warning about that. It's like just as quickly as you can think and feel yourself out of a disease and cure yourself of a disease, you can think and feel yourself into, like if you're always thinking negative, for example, and your physiology is always just like, whoa, like of like a dead man, or like a defeated character, you're just gonna start to feel like shit. It's funny, like, you know, and I see so many similarities in this book and Tony Robbins' book. Like, let's say, for example, you stand up. Let's just do this quick before I wrap it up. Like, if you stand up, like anybody who's watching this can try this at home, by the way. You stand up and you slouch your shoulders and you like walk slowly like a snail, like you just start to feel kind of like shit. But if you actually pull your shoulders back and you actually like walk as if you have someplace to go in a very confident way, all of a sudden when you puff your chest out, you just feel better. It's just how it works. You know, you try it for like 2 minutes. Like if you're watching this at home, stand up. You know, walk like, you know, with a really depressed physiology and like, you know, like in a very derp state, like, you know, walk around like that, see how you feel. And then like for 2 minutes, just do it. Obviously it's not going to come naturally, but just do it. Pull your shoulders back, walk like as if like you're just the most important human on earth and you have some place to go, and like see how you feel after like 2 minutes of that. See how you feel. And then.
It's one of those fake it till you make it type situations as well, isn't it? Like you see online, a lot of people will talk about that they have like they struggle for self-confidence, and so they like, I've read quite a few people on Reddit, for example, who said, I really struggled with self-confidence, so I just pretended to be someone else. So I played a character and I pretended to be someone that was really outgoing and confident.
Yeah.
Right? And then they went out and performed their character, which they believe was not themselves. But at what point does it actually become themselves? Because at some point, the line of character and actual person, I mean, the character that they were playing was basically themselves, but a confident version of themselves. Well, if you fake confidence, well, is that not just simply confidence? At some point, it might be second nature to behave in such a way, but ultimately it is just confidence. Confidence doesn't have to be backed by anything.
Really. You're training your brain to be confident, really, is what's happening there. Like, let's say, for example, you have some idol in your life and you're like, I want to be just like this person. And you just start acting and behaving like that person. Then after the actions and behaviors, the feelings, you know, will come. Like the feelings of confidence come like after the fact. You know, after the fact that you've behaved and acted, you know, in a confident manner and things like that. So, if you have like a role model or somebody that you really like, you know, just be like, you know, how would they approach the situation, or how would the best version of myself approach this situation, and act and behave and feel in that way. And that really, you know, it's a powerful thing. It's powerful stuff. Anybody that's a skeptic, you know, at home, try it out. Try it out for a day. You know, try it out for an hour.
My cat's doing it right now. She's pretending to be an attention-starved little beaver, and she's shouting at me. I don't know if you can hear her across the room.
I'm sure that she might not be pretending. You know, I mean,
no, I don't think
she actually probably is pretending, as a matter of fact. But anyways, so I think we have enough here on the placebo. So
we do.
Let's wrap this up. Go ahead.
Last thing before it goes. Jack pointed out that you can think yourself into unwellness as well. By the way, and those of you watching might have come across like psychosomatic illnesses before, where you actually, you know, and I've experienced this many times. This is like a real symptom of anxiety, when you start to worry about a health issue and you actually start to physically feel it, but it's not physically there. Like I've had it.
It's not even there. Your brain is acting like it's there.
Yeah.
But there's really nothing there, because as soon as you get rid of that like anxiety and that worry, all of a sudden your physical pain goes away. So it's like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Right.
If the pain goes away when you're not thinking about it, and it comes back when you think about it, the chances are it's fabricated in your mind.
Yes.
Like you might actually be creating this yourself, and then it's like, do I feel the pain, or am I thinking that I feel the pain? And it becomes very confusing. That's why I wanted to draw upon. I did read. I listened to a book recently, and it talks about the nocebo effect, which I'd never heard of before, which is quite frankly, in the simplest sense, the opposite of the placebo effect. The example that was given was, and the doctor who coined the phrase nocebo, he had a woman that was allergic to roses, like severely allergic to roses, like and some other flowers, to the point where she would like have like a, you know, like a full-blown attack, like an allergy attack whenever she came into contact with these flowers. This doctor wasn't actually convinced that she was genuinely suffering from it, so he put a fake rose in his office. And when she came into his office, she saw the rose and she immediately started sneezing and having symptoms of an allergic reaction. But it was a fake rose. It was plastic.
Yeah.
And it was a bluff, basically. He put it there to bluff her. And obviously she's not aware of that. And that's how he came up with the term nocebo effect, where if someone genuinely believes something so strongly, the brain will actually manifest it into reality, which is exactly what you've written in point D, I think it was there. If you genuinely believe something with all of your heart, your body will behave accordingly, because your body is presuming that that is the issue. I'm sure that, to be honest, if you look throughout,
or if you're like, if you're scared of snakes and like you see like a plastic snake, for example, what's going to happen? Your initial response is you're going to freak out and you're going to feel a lot of fear.
Yeah.
A lot of fear. Even though like, even after a second, like you see that's fake, you'll begin to calm down, but you still can't, that initial, response is
yeah.
Like, you have cats, right? Have you ever showed them or play with a cucumber?
Yeah, they don't jump for the cucumbers. They jump for other things, but yeah, the cucumbers not so much. There's a few little things that we found that frightened them before, though. But yeah.
They're just like, wow, they're like having panic. You're like, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Buddy, take it easy, But it's like that. Your brain can freak out over nothing if you just convince yourself that something is of danger to you. It just freaks out. Like, and it's weird the way it works, but that's just what it does.
And this is a good place to wrap up. And the whole point of this being that if you are someone who, I mean, not even if you're someone who suffers from this, but just understanding that you can think positive things into reality. For the last one you gave is a great example, by the way. I used to have a phobia of spiders, arachnophobia, right? I was frightened of spiders. Or at least I had this perception that I was, because it's so common. It's like 90% of people, something ridiculous, have arachnophobia, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't love spiders now. Okay, I wouldn't like, as recreation, I wouldn't like, chase spiders around and have tarantulas wandering my house. But I got to a point where I was just like, am I really scared of spiders, or am I just scared because like everybody else is scared? So I was like, I'll just pretend that I'm not scared of spiders. And like, when I see a spider, I'll just calmly put it in a glass and throw it outside. And I'm not going to have this big hissy fit and shit myself and all this kind of stuff. So I just tricked myself into thinking, well, I'm not scared of spiders at all. And now I'm genuinely not frightened of spiders. Like I said, if a spider was crawling on me, I would be like, fuck, I'd be startled. But
the thing is,
my
like,
house,
you can actually...
I'm the one who collects the spiders. You know?
You know what's funny? You can actually, like, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we'll wrap up with this. You can actually train your mind. Again, I talk about training your mind. You can actually train your mind, if you wanted to not be afraid of spiders. See, I'm afraid of spiders and shit too, but I don't feel the need to train my mind to not be and waste my time doing that. But for training your mind to think positively instead of negatively, can change your entire life. So that's very important. So you definitely want to train your mind to do that. But for example, if you were training your mind for spiders, what you would do is, there's a process to that, right? You would look at pictures of spiders. Then you would watch videos of spiders. Then you would just look at spiders, like, a week at a time, like you do in this. You would look at spiders, and then you would begin maybe touching a spider, maybe letting it. You're like, at first you're like, wow, that seems crazy, but after you've watched the videos, after you look at the pictures, after you've stared at them for so long, you're just like,
I did this, by the way. I held a tarantula. Yeah,
that seems insane.
Like a little zoo.
That seems insane to me. And like, anybody can train themselves to do that. But like, the thing is, like, let's say, why would you train yourself to be able to do spiders? But the point is, the brain is trainable. That's the point.
Yeah.
The brain is trainable. So if you've trained your brain to focus on all the negative shit and worry about all this stuff, it can be trained. And you have to strongly believe that, because it's just the truth. It can be trained to start only thinking about positive things, or mostly thinking about positive things. It's just the way it is. You just train it. That's it. And the way you train it is it's like a daily, weekly, monthly thing. Like, you just have to catch yourself when you're thinking about the negative things, replace it with the positive things. The brain is very trainable. It's just a fact of life. And so let's wrap it up with that. And
all right.
Yeah. All right. So let's wrap it up.